waiting for Andrew. Hey, I'm doing well. Good to see you guys. Let's see. There we go. All right. All right. Let's add him. I'm gonna invite you, Andrew. 1 second. You should be able to join in. I sent you the invite. I got the sweater. Andrew, let's see. Were you able to hop in? Hmm. Want to try again, Andrew? See if you can hop in again. I don't know why it's not letting me. Um, oh, you go. Hey, there you are. How you
Hi,
doing? Looking
how are
good.
you?
I'm doing well. I got the sweater just like you.
Yes,
Represent.
yes. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. You guys had such a great conversation, you and Sabrina.
Yes, so do you want to talk about how we connected during COVID? No,
Yeah,
before COVID and how we adapted during COVID. Nothing much changed, but because
yeah.
we're more of an in-person buddy pair, nothing much changed because we still have the same, we still communicate by call and text.
That's right.
We're not really Zoom people as as our friendship is, and Yousef is my longest peer buddy as 3 years. He beat Sabrina by two, but me and
Ah,
Sabrina have been friends for 8 years, so
exactly.
technically
Yeah,
Yousef is my longest peer buddy to date.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
But it's been good. I mean, we did do a lot of phone calls even before COVID hit. We would talk every week, even like every couple days. So that transition was all right because we would just keep talking. And I remember, especially early on, we would have conversations all the time because we were both trying to figure out what was going on with COVID and what the restrictions were like. And I remember, especially for you, you loved going out and meeting people and doing activities. And it was especially tough for you at the beginning. So those conversations, especially me, I was stressed out as well. Those conversations we had together was I found really helpful. But yeah, we've been keeping in touch ever since and doing Zoom calls and
yeah.
so
Even
over
at
the
the
summer.
beginning of even at the beginning of even at the beginning 3 years ago when we met, and then my first year back in Best Buddies, and I joined the UTSE chapter. Thanks by reaching out to Marley, and Marley got me set up, and I became buddy advocate. And if I didn't reach out to Marley and I didn't become buddy advocate, I would never meet Yusuf. I remember the
That's
first time I went up to campus, I had my first ever exec meeting with the exec leaders, and I think it was Kayla and a girl named Alyssa, and they were the chapter co-presidents, and Yusuf and Kayla messaged me a couple of days before and said, Andrew, I got some good news. I have a peer buddy for you. His name is Yusuf. He was a former co-president of the Best Buddy chapter the year before. So, do you want to know? Can you tell the viewers what happened? Why I stepped down from a co-president to be my best buddy?
mm. Yeah, well, I think I was in fourth year. I was going into fourth year, and I knew I would be getting busy. And by that time, we already had such a great exec team, and I felt that it would be a disservice to Best Buddies if I continued as the president along with Marley, and she was also, I think, finishing up her school. So I wanted to pass it off to a fantastic group of really energetic execs who would take over, and I would be able to, start off, return to how I started off with Best Buddies, which was as a peer buddy myself. When I was in grade 9, I joined Best Buddies for the first time. I was like almost 10 years ago. And funny enough, my buddy's name was also Andrew. So it's a great sort of circle to return back. And I was so happy I got a message from Kayla around September-ish. This was before we officially started up, before we were doing pairings. I mean, this is a sort of representation of how passionate Andrew is about Best Buddies. He's already going. He's already thinking. He's early. I got a message from Kayla saying, "Hey, there's this really excited guy who wants to join Best Buddies and he wants to get paired up. Would you like to be paired up with him?" And I was like, "Of course." And so that's how we got paired up. We met, I think it was like September, three
Yeah,
years ago. And I just can't believe it's been 3 years. And you know what? It's taken off ever since. It's been so good. And I've really gotten to learn a lot from Andrew, especially his passion and love for Best Buddies and his creativity and his ability to come up with ideas and events and things to do. I mean, it's just been something I've been trying to aspire to myself. I mean, I love Best Buddies, but to see Andrew as passionate, it's been fantastic. So I've really learned a lot from our friendship together.
yeah. I remember our first hangover. We went to a J game, and I remember we did those Best Buddies UTSC videos with Blake Snell and a couple of the Rays saying, "Please sign up for UFT Scarborough." And I remember Blake Snell had that southern accent, like because he's
That's right.
American. And like, and I'm like, Yusuf, after the J game, let's go down to let's go to see the Rays. And what were you thinking when you saw the Rays? At least they
Oh
didn't think
man.
you were my boyfriend or something. Not like me and Sabrina. They thought me and Sabrina were married.
That's right. That's right. Oh man, I that was my first sort of uh, entry into the world of Andrew in sports because Andrew is very involved in sports and he knows a lot of teams and a lot of players. And so that was the first exposure I had to that, and it was great. We waited outside of the stadium, got to meet a couple of players, and they all knew who Andrew was. And they were really friendly and really supportive, and they were happy about Best Buddy. So that was a really great moment. And ever since, it's been a great experience being with Andrew and seeing the sports side of things.
Yeah, and I remember one of my favorite memories is doing the Easter seal skate at
That's
the
right.
last year. Me, Sabrina, Yusuf, Sabrina's Kartik, Sabrina's husband, Kartik, all did the Easter seal skate, and me and Yusuf skated with Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner,
Oh yeah, that was
and
that was
Jason
great.
Spezza and Cody CC, and
That's right.
Justin was on there too.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, we got to experience a lot together.
We went to the
Um,
gala together, the 25th anniversary gala.
oh, that was so much fun. Uh, I mean, it was such a great event. So many people. Best Buddies Canada head office, fantastic team. Just a great moment. Raise some funds for Best Buddies. I mean, what more do you want, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? And just like building, like even like me, I got to go to the represent Best Buddies Canada and go to Orlando to the MLS All
Orlando.
Star
That's
game
right.
and got to go on the field at halftime and got to meet this is like the biggest soccer stars in the world, like Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Wayne Rooney and Prizuelo, and you know what? And we get to go to TFC games thanks to Michael Bradley of TFC, and like Michael
Yeah.
Bradley is one of like he's the best person we ever met. Like we actually came and met him at one of the season ticket holders event because I am a season ticket holder as well as TFC.
Hmm.
And I remember we went to an open practice one day and like we got to meet Michael Bradley. He did a Best Buddies video with me, and
Wow.
remember we did that video with Michael Bradley about like the community MVP to try
That's
to get
right.
the votes.
And we shared it around to sort of promote it. It was a good time.
Yeah,
Um,
and if I wasn't Buddy Advocate in the UTSC chapter and learn some stuff off of Yousef, I would never be having the chance right now to work with my friend Angie's like my sister, Rachel, because me and Rachel are like the peanut butter and jam that Mario could never have. They're gonna miss the our exec team from this year. They're gonna miss the peanut butter and jam uh, sandwiches that me and Rachel are.
That's right.
We have to
So,
have a nickname for my new co-president.
well, you got plenty of time to think about that, right?
Yeah.
So, Andrew, I was wondering, as someone who's been a part of Best Buddies for some time, from your perspective, what advice do you have, sort of, building that friendship with a new person? Because you've had a couple of buddies, maybe for people out there who are joining Best Buddies for the first time, what sort of experience or advice do you have about how to sort of start that relationship, that friendship with a new person?
Well, I have at the beginning, like for transitioning from because I only had a couple of peer buddies, so it took me a couple of months to get to used to Sabrina. But me and Sabrina really connected really quickly, and I got to know her really well. And then when I met you, it was really a transition because like I haven't been in best buddies. You're my second ever buddy. And remember, it took me up until December that year just to get used to you and like, get to know you a little bit better
Yeah.
because you're my second peer buddy other than
Hmm.
Sabrina. And then last year I had Benny, and it was in the Ryerson chapter, so he was my third ever third ever peer buddy. But because we started off the year in person, and because we didn't have a lot of events in the Ryerson chapter that we could go to, because there was there wasn't that many events to go to in the chapter last year, so we just started like going to some games and talking a little bit, but then COVID hit, so
Right.
we lost
So
contact.
you would say it's like sort of getting to know them through attending events or having sort of phone calls to chat
Yeah,
and get to know each
and
other.
we didn't get that opportunity to get to know each other that well. And
Yeah.
then this year, I got two peer buddies in the Ryerson chapter. One name is Stetson, and the other one I just don't want to name because of the issues that went on. But like, it was hard for me to like once I got to know the other person, and then the issue that happened. It was a hard thing, you know. But now I'm getting to know Stetson, and Stetson is becoming an awesome peer buddy to me in the Ryerson chapter. He's like one of my favorite Ryerson peer buddies, you know?
So it seems like Andrew, through Best Buddies program, you got to meet all different kinds of people, build different kinds of relationships with them, find different interests you have with them, different ways of contacting them, and sort of getting to know
Yeah.
them. So I think maybe if there's one piece of advice is especially is sort of just like friendships, they're flexible. You work with what's best for the other person. You figure out what works with you guys, what you have in common. So me and Andrew, we both like sports, so we did a lot of sports activities, and we liked calling each other to touch base. So I guess for people who join the Best Buddies program and want to build a friendship, that at the beginning it's a lot of getting to know each other, figuring out what you guys like, figuring out how you guys vibe together in terms of contact. Do you guys like calling? Do you guys like video chatting, going out in person, coffee, sports, whatever it is, figuring out that thing that works best for you. Because Andrew has sort of a little bit of a different relationship with each person. And especially, for example, I'm in school right now, so we figured out ways to sort of work around my schedule and his schedule because you're working a lot now too, right? So
Yes. So,
it's
like
that.
even before COVID, like we had our own schedule. Like if we couldn't hang out during the school year, we would do more hangouts during the summer. So Best Buddies is really like I know the university side of Best Buddies is from October till April,
Hmm.
but basically it's all year round. Like me and
That's
Sabrina,
right.
like if we couldn't hang out during the school year, we still hanged out after the school year. So like even for peer buddies, like after the school year ends in April, don't forget about your buddy. Contact them, you know, like do stuff. Especially now that the vaccines are coming out. Most of us are gonna get vaccinated. You know, so if you want to go for a walk with your peer buddy or go for an ice cream at Dairy Queen or Tim Hortons or something, or like even to play throw the ball around at a park, you know, like or go to maybe have a Baskin Robbins or Krispy Kreme donut. You know, just plan it out with your buddy over the next couple months, and the weather
Hmm.
is going to warm up, and just do a little social distance hangout. You know,
There you go. So depending on how the restrictions are and whatever, you got to make sure you follow the safety regulations. But otherwise, you got to come up with ways to adapt. I think that's fantastic, Andrew. So seeing that we're almost at time, what do you
And
say?
I have one more question.
Yeah.
What kind of advice can I get to peer, like students at Ryerson
Mm.
or UFT Scarborough who want to join up for the Best Buddies program? What kind of advice we give new peer buddies coming into the program for next year?
I think that's a great question. I'd say first and foremost, um, make sure you definitely look at your sort of schedule for the year. Some years you have a lot of courses that you take. Make sure this is something that you're able to commit to throughout the year, because Best Buddy is one thing that's really important, at least for being a peer buddy, is to make sure you have commitment and follow up throughout the year. But also to be open. I think Best Buddies is one of those things that helps you make friends and meet new people, and you feel such that you really feel the love in the environment with everybody who joins in. So I think it's a fantastic thing. So I highly recommend people consider it. And always, if commitment becomes a concern, you can always be an associate member where you can contribute to events. So there's lots of options for how to be a part of Best Buddies. So definitely, if you're from Ryerson, UTSC, for anywhere else, check out your local universities or colleges or high school or elementary school, even in some places, chapter, and see how you can get involved. And if there isn't a chapter, maybe take the initiative, contact head office, and they will help you out. They're fantastic people, and to maybe start up a program there and create new friendships. So I think it's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing.
Let's get up to 1,000 chapters in Canada.
Let's keep
Oh,
expanding. I like it. This is the passion I like to see from Andrew.
yes, and you know what? We all love Best Buddies, and you know what? I'm so glad that me and you have been a buddy pair for 3 years. So if Michelle or Miles are listening, I want Michelle to pick my new peer buddy, or we have a team I'm gonna assemble to go through our next round of peer buddy interviews for my peer buddy in the UTSC. They're gonna have to go through so many interviews. They're gonna be the right person for the job. To
Well,
replace
listen,
Yousef, they have to be the best, right?
anyone's going to be fantastic. That's my experience. Everybody at Best Buddies is great, so I have no worries about that. So, what do you say we wrap it up with the Best
Okay.
Buddies chant? How about this? You do the motions because I'm using one hand to hold the phone up, and I'll sing the song. Do you think
Okay.
that works?
Yeah.
Ready? Best, best buddies, best buddies, best buddies, best buddies. Buddies, best buddies, best buddies. Woo!
Thank you,
Fantastic.
Yousef. And thank you for being my peer buddy the last 3 years.
Thank you for being my friend, and here's to many more years together.
Okay, bye.
Cheers. Thanks for everybody for joining. Take care.